A week ago, I recorded a video in which I reacted to all 136 comments which were under my interview with Chris James. Now, when I heard bits of my recording, of my reactions, I was so disappointed in the way I expressed myself. I was so disappointed in the way I pronounced English words. I was so disappointed in the way I moved around on the camera that I wasn't going to publish it. But in the end, I will publish it because it's the truth. It's the way I am. I want to apologize for the form, but hopefully you will enjoy the substance. And I pledge here that as part of Entrypoint Academia, part of Entrypoint Learning, I will work on my oratory skills.
Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So today is a very special video which I have not done in the past, and it's my first time. And it's a reaction to my interview with Chris James, which happened in January, and it was published in February. Now I would like to say hello and thank you to not only James, of course, but I want to say hello to our mutual follower who actually told Chris about me, and I really want to thank you, and I hope that you are not ashamed of recommending me, and I hope that also the content was good for Chris. Now, there are 136 comments below the video, and I will try to react to them. So let's get down to it. Now, I haven't read them, so I can imagine that some of them will be nice, some of them could be nasty, and my experiences with my Facebook streams in the Czech Republic, and when I stream about the water fasting, people just hate me. They even want to call police for me, saying things that are not normal. You don't eat and drink water only. That's not normal. We got to, stop you from publishing this nonsense. So I don't really expect this evil and stupidity in Chris's comments, but let's go down to it. Also, I wanna apologize if I misread your nicks and if I mispronounce any of your comments. But at least it's a feedback to you how someone who has lived on this planet for 47 years, someone whose English is a second language. I speak Czech as my mother tongue, but I've done international business, so you can see how I'll be fighting with what you wrote and your nicks. So let's go to the first one. Rainwarren1219 wrote, by the way, I have my Chrome in the Czech language, so this means 11 days ago. So Chris demonstrates excellent listening skills. George has great energy and willingness to openly share his experience. Thank you, Chris, for generously allowing him space to fully share himself. He has done the work and put forth the effort to heal and be a contribution. And here's an answer. Farouk writes, I agree with this. It takes excellent skills and respect to give the guests their space to speak and express their thoughts. Thank you, Chris, for having George on. Now, since this is my first reaction, I would like to say that this is exactly how I feel, and this is exactly why I was doing the interview with Chris and what I was hoping for, because this is very nice. Because during the interview, I was like, I didn't prepare anything, because, this is my life. So I took it that Chris is asking me about my life, and I'm just sharing with you my life. And I'm really happy that you felt it. And I'm extremely thankful for Chris for giving me this opportunity to use his channel to say my thoughts, my insights to all of you. And hopefully maybe to some of you, they will also help you. Because I got to tell you that the way I live has completely changed my life. And I try to teach to the people around me. And a lot of the people around me in real life, their life has also changed. So I'm really happy that I had this opportunity. So thank you all. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, our mutual fan, for arranging this. So let's go to the next comment. Tin Roof Vintage. Every interview is different, and I love that Chris Professional lets it go where it goes. He lets the guests be who and how they are with patience, humility, and empathy. Some people are talkers, so I felt Chris could take it easy. I totally enjoy it. Thank you for a great video. Well, again, thank you very much for this comment. Let's see what's there. I love this comment. Exactly. You know what? Oh, you know what? Okay, so I will also start liking it. Yeah, right? I like this one. I like this one. I like this one. I like this one. And again, I felt bad at first because it was supposed to be an interview. And again, I haven't watched it since. But I think that Chris just asked me something. In the beginning, I asked him several questions. And then I think I just spoke nonstop forever. So thank you for these comments. Let's go to the next one. Rachel Brown. I will also open the replies right away. Rachel writes, "This is a lesson for me. Sometimes you come for one reason and get stuck on that. But sometimes we need to hear more than what we expected. This was a good interview for more than just the Waterfast." Now, Rachel, I want to tell you that I'm really happy that you noticed that I wasn't talking only about water fasting. Because, you know what, let me talk a little bit more on this topic. So here's water fasting. But in order to water fast, you have to come in terms with your urge to eat, right? So it's water fast, but water fasting, it's just an effect of a cause. And the cause is that you came into terms with your relationship to food, right? But that's, even though it's a cause of water fasting, it's effect of another cause. And that cause is that you came in terms with how you handle urges inside of your head. And not only that, that's another effect of another cause. And that cause is that you came into terms with all the emotions that you have in your mind and how to handle them. And of course, when you look at this link coming from water fasting, this link also goes to other areas of your life, such as my worldview and things that I see in my professional work. So I'm glad you noticed it, and I'm glad that I had a chance to talk about also other things than just water fasting. Okay, Chris writes, thank you. So yes. Jackie Lackey, agreed. I was talking-ish, but still, it was talking-ish, I think, but still listened all the way through. He has a perspective worth considering. Thank you very much. Because, you know what? I just read this comment, but I didn't go back to the correct window. So, I think what's important for me is to, he has a perspective worth considering. Now, one of the things I have, one of the effects I have in my life is that sometimes I feel alone. I feel like everyone around me behaves and talks like, or believes that the earth is flat, metaphorically. And then I see that the earth is round, but if I say it out loud, all the people around me who believe that earth is flat, they would laugh at me. So, no, I'm quiet. But through these channels, I scream it sometimes to the world, hey, it's round. For these reasons, I think it's round, and it could mean this. And when people write what you guys are writing in the comments, then I feel I'm not alone, and that there are other people who feel that there's something more to life. And I'm not saying something that's, it's extra spiritual or some seventh dimension, whatever. No. I'm talking about the everyday life. The everyday life. The way we perceive reality, the way we feel it inside of our body. That in fact there's a better way, or not a better way, but a different way how you can perceive life, and thus how you can behave in life, in reality. And I talk about this, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. So let's go to the next one. So PR3 Titinomi is writing, so happy for him that he reached his own level of enlightenment. We should all be striving for this. His drive and discipline and motivation are unmatched. So, first of all, I don't really like the word enlightenment because it's the same word as God, as love. What else? Evil. All these words that we all, and when I say we all, I don't mean we all who are talking here on the internet. But I mean everyone on this planet, so 8 billion people. So we all speak languages, we all have common words, and we all expect that when we use a word, that the meaning that I attach to this word is the same meaning as someone else. Now, it's not just about the meaning of the word. When you look in a dictionary, you say love equals and some description, but attached to it are various social constructs. So when I use the word enlightenment, let me tell you what I mean by enlightenment, so it's not confused with other times you see the word enlightenment. So I'll tell you what the entry point enlightenment means. And I got to show you also that it's when you come to my YouTube channel, on my YouTube channel, you will find various videos. So these are all previews of the videos you can find on my channel. And one of them, it's the one over here, number 1. So it's this one right here. It talks about how to perceive reality. And entry point enlightenment, let's call it this way, is that because when you perceive reality, you perceive what you see, you perceive what you hear, you have thoughts inside of your head, you also have emotions, right? You have all of this, and then you also have the consciousness that perceives this. And most people, the thoughts that appear in their minds, they are attached to them because they feel that they are their thoughts coming out of their head. But entry point enlightenment is that you realize, and not only intellectually, but experientially, the disassociation from your thoughts, from your emotions, from what you perceive around you. And you just don't worry about it, because you know that everything that you see is filtered through your brain. And just like your brain is deciding on its own, or I don't even know if it's the brain, right? The whole body is deciding on its own if these type of hormones should be or should not be pumped into your bloodstream, and I have absolutely no way I can control it. Then entry point enlightenment, and that's exactly what I am experiencing and how I live my life. And it's the basics of Entrypoint Academia. These are all the videos here on the side. Entrypoint Academia tells you how to apply Entrypoint philosophy in your life. And of course, the first level is that you have to understand how to perceive reality. And perceiving reality is without the association to everything around you. So that's the enlightenment. And personally, I think that not that everyone should be striving for it. I think that it should be compulsory, that it's taught on every school in this planet, that people should realize that they should not be enslaved by their thoughts and what they perceive and the story they hear around it. It's just like when you take let's say you find a wild animal, let's say a wild bear, whatever, small one. You feed him, and then one day he attacks you. Or it's the same thing that if you have a wild animal and it's caught somewhere and you want to help it, and you cannot help it because it would attack you. It's sort of like it cannot. Or a dog, when the dog sniffs something and completely forgets about you giving the dog an order. Or when someone is driving a car and someone cuts in front of them and they just snap and they lose it and they start doing things that they would not normally do. So the enlightenment is that you realize that you are Homo sapiens and a consciousness that can disassociate itself from the thoughts and emotions. And this should be taught everywhere, because we wouldn't have that many wars and everything would be much better. So thank you again for this comment, and let's go to the next one. Life in the middle. I love that you leave space for others to share their experiences. It may not align with our own, however, we can learn something from each other once we completely shed the layer of unconscious judgment. Now, this is a very nice comment. Thank you for it. And again, I'm happy that Chris gave me the space to just speak my heart out and to say it how I feel it. So again, thank you, and thank you for the comment. Let's go to the next one. King Dom Queen Talk. Now this interview is incredible. I may not agree with everything he says, but I love his passion. I'm excited after listening to this testimony. Now, first of all, thank you very much for this. Secondly, I love free speech, but I love free speech from, I never knew it, but I think it was about a year ago. And you can see it on the video here, how I apply Plato in my life. Because about a year and a half ago, I read all the dialogues of Plato. And I gotta tell you that it was written 2,500 years ago, or even more. And when I read it, I was so upset that how come everything that was there, it took me 47 years to get to it. How come that when I went to school, they were teaching me that snails were hermaphrodites, but they would not teach me, for example, dialectics. And dialectics, I would say, is, free speech. Again, it's some sound that we attach meaning to. And the meaning, again, everyone thinks it's different. And most people think that free speech means that I can say whatever I think. But in real life, it can happen that I'll say whatever I want, but the surroundings, let's say the online platform, make sure that my voice is not heard. Or I say something, free speech, I say my opinion, but maybe, let's say I keep saying 2 + 2 is 6. Free speech, 2 + 2 is 6. It's like so obvious. So I say it out loud, but then free speech is that also someone can tell me, hey, George, 2 + 2 is not 6, it's 4. You are wrong. So, think about it, and it will be good to change your opinion. Now, in real life, people, start arguing, and because they're attached to the ego. But dialectics, which is talked about by Plato, and I really, the video that you see here, it's a video that has 3 parts. I think it's 5 minutes or 15 seconds, 5 minutes, and 20 minutes. And each goes deeper and deeper into the works of Plato. And my intent of this video was that for all of you who don't have time to read the 35-45 Plato's dialogues, you can just watch that video and you will be fine. And as I said, one of the principles that he talks about is dialectics. And it's a way how people can come into terms and talk about their different views, not proactively, but that synergy happens. And as King Dom Queen Talk writes, I may not agree with everything he says, but I love his passion. Now, when someone says that they don't agree with everything that I say, immediately I'm curious, because everything that I say, when I say everything, I mean really everything. Because if I say it publicly on Chris James's Healthy Alternative channel, then I have to be sure that what I'm saying is real. So everything that I say is something that I experience. So when you say that you may not agree, I don't know if you meant it rhetorically or if it was for real, but let me know what you did not agree with, because then you will give me a chance. Maybe because if you don't agree, that means you see it differently, and I want to find out if I see the based on what facts or indicators you see it differently than I do, because then I have a chance to maybe correct my view. Yeah? So let me know. And I will for sure here in the answer put a link with a timestamp to my question here. Okay, let's go to the next one. The TMG. I really enjoyed this video and listening to this guest's perspective. I also found the refrigerator analogy very useful. Another great interview, Chris. Now, here I have to give a thumbs up. And the reason for that is because the TMG touched a topic that I mentioned, and that topic was how we all have communism inside of our family, and the fridge is a nice example. And again, I want to stress out that I said that any regime can be good, because any regime depends on the consciousness or the mental capacity, or as I'd like to say, the level of domestication of the population. Because if I have, let's say, if I have a group of rats, then I have to be a dictator. I have to be a tyrant in order to organize the rats. I cannot give them democracy because they don't understand the concept. So I have to be a tyrant, right? And then I go to exactly, communism is a nice example, right? Because in order for communism to work, the people who organize themselves under the communist regime, they have to be people who view all the members of this group as their family members. That everything is a fridge. Everything is a fridge. And because people are not, and I've never, well, there are a few communities in the world where the people, like, let's say the Amish community, and like they all feel like they're part of a big family. So that's the big advantage of being part of a religious group, because you can come to a foreign country, and if you say you're a Muslim to a Muslim or a Christian to a Christian, immediately you have a bigger bond. So for me, I look at communism that if everyone believes and truly acts that everyone is a family, communism can work. But unfortunately, because I don't know why do I see it as completely obvious? But people who were the leaders, like, let's say Lenin, Marx, all the political leaders in the world. So how come no one said, the idea is great, but the problem is that if you misuse it and you put bad people, and when I say bad people, it's everyone who doesn't feel that we are all one big family that lives under the communist regime, then of course it can be easily misused, because that was exactly what was happening in the Czech Republic. everyone was stealing. In fact, people who didn't steal from the state, it was like, you are stupid, you are hurting your family. So everyone was corrupted. All the political leaders, all the managers in the companies, majority was corrupted. So therefore, I feel bad that because we misused communism, now instead of saying, oh my God, how, it was the fault of the Czechs were not ready to have communism. But that doesn't mean that communism is wrong. Same with Russia, same with all the countries where there was communist regime. I haven't seen or read information about a communist country that would be that would work in such a way that everyone truly inside felt like they were one big family. That it wasn't just a fake, like in the Czech Republic, everyone was, I think, what was it, 1st of May or 5th of May, we had like special ceremonies when everyone was like, waving at the communist leaders. And it, when you look from the outside, it looked like, the people were happy. The people were so excited that's how it is. They were like laughing at the cameras. But behind the closed doors, people hated it. So I'm glad you mentioned it, and I'm glad you mentioned it from a positive point of view, because that's how you have to look at things, without attachments, without any emotion. That's why I wear these glasses, to remind me that I have things stuck in my head. And my whole life, I've been hearing communism is bad, communism is bad. It was like the worst regime. Stalin, how many people died, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but it has nothing to do with communism. That has to do with that communism is very easy to misuse if you don't use it the right way. Like a gun, right? It's like if someone says guns are bad because look how many people were killed. How many bad people killed good people with guns? Gun is bad. No, it's how we misuse it. So thank you for your comment, and let's move on. So Tiff2422. Chris is patient because I lost the conversation a long while ago. I'm just here listening at work. Boring. Great points though. Great job on the 50 pounds weight loss. Okay. This I always enjoy. I find it interesting. And again, thank you for this comment. But I always find it interesting when people say, you speak too long. No, you speak too long. You should say like shorter. Well, I don't care. Because the way I look at it is that, you know what? Give yourself 10 minutes and just hear what I say. And in the end of the 10th minute, stop it and ask yourself, do I feel better or do I feel worse after? Do I have more energy or less? And if you feel better, then give me another 10 minutes. But what I find interesting is when people are there and they're like, it's like, okay, this information was good. No, this wasn't that good. Oh, this was really good. This took him 3 sentences. This took him 4. Like, let's just enjoy the time. But in the same time, I think that you should give me 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, think to yourself, will I continue or not? And compare it to the state you were in before you started listening. It's just like a different way of approaching when people are, expressing themselves. So thank you very much. Now let's move on. Pink Hepatia. Hypatia. This was an unexpected and thought-provoking perspective. Thank you for sharing and listening so well. Thank you very much for this, because I think, and I don't care that I'm saying it, but I think it is thought-provoking when you realize that communism by itself is not bad, just like a gun. And in fact, that you can organize more effectively when living under communism, taking into consideration that you have to respect everyone as your family member, because we all, and that's why I think communism is the best one, I think most of us within our families live as it's in communism. And I think this is, for me, it's thought-provoking because I lived in communism, or something that was called communism. And I'm 47 years old, and this thought occurred to me about a year ago. So when I was 46, and I've never heard it. I've never heard that it's not about the regime by itself, but you have to take into consideration how people are smart, or, well, as I said, I say how much are people domesticated, that they're realizing that even though, from a biology point of view or evolutionary point of view, when they see a stranger, they want to just strangle him and do bad things to him, that they can tell themselves, and this goes back to entry point enlightenment, that if I can disassociate myself with these feelings, that I can change my perspective and feel it in a completely different way, and realize that, in fact, it's not about only the regime, but how people think about the world. So, as I was giving the example with the rats, right? Like, rats cannot have democracy. In fact, even if you have a country, and this country is not producing a lot of GDP, democracy will not work. I read a study that in order for democracy to work, the population, let's say the country, let's call it a country, the country that wants to have democracy, they have to have surplus, I think, about 10%, because democracy costs a lot of money. Police, the judiciary system, and all of this. So if you have a country, and I've never heard it in my life, that someone would say, you know what, this country, the population there, mentally, they are ready for democracy. But because they are really poor, because the war happened or whatever, it will take them about 5-10 years before they can afford democracy. But this is not what we say. We give them democracy right away, and then we are surprised that it's not working. Now, why it's not working, I can tell you through other stream. So thank you, Pinke Hypatia. Again, as I said before, sorry for mispronouncing your handles, but this is how I would read it as someone who speaks English as a second language. So Rosie Smallshaw. Chris, I just asked you a question in your video about dry fast, but I wanted to express to you that I truly enjoyed your collaboration with Justin Dorff. And here's what I commented in his video. Brilliant interview. Thank you for this. I follow alternative and really respect Chris James. He's very knowledgeable, and his channel, I think that this comment is probably not really to me, so I will not read Chris's response, and let's move on. Chelsea B3625. I think he starts talking about his water fasting experiences at 38:19. Okay, probably. Thank you so much. Lol, I can understand the feeling behind that. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, okay. So I think this is meant ironically, because everyone was expecting probably on this channel that it would be like that. Chris would ask me, so how about your water fasts? And I would say, yeah, so I started day 1, I drank water only. I did it for 50 days and I feel great. There were some hard times, blah, blah. But of course, then you listen to the interview, and I was just talking about life, and it was hard, and I was doing that. So sorry for that, and sorry for that. But I think Chris added timestamps. So yeah, sorry that you had to waste so much time before you got to the water fasting information. Very much appreciated. Oh my God, thank you, because I was done. Okay, let's move on. Dashamrikalo 9485. I wish there were timestamps. Some people will like to enjoy all of this interview. Some would like to listen particular parts of the interview. Timestamps would have been great help to all. Okay, I think they are there, so this is fine. I said the same thing once and basically got laughed off. Longer videos definitely need timestamps. Why can't you do it? Agreed, it was kind of long-winded for me. Of course, as I said, even in the beginning of this reaction video, water fasting is just an effect. I want to talk about the cause. The reason for that, to all of you who are seeking information about water fasting, again, I would even say, forget the water fasting part. The important part is how to disassociate your consciousness from your urge to eat. And that's what I was saying, in the non-water fasting parts. So this is just my reaction to you guys here. And let's move on. Obatala Vibes. I enjoy listening, but what did you both agree to discuss? Maybe he was enjoying talking. Chris was very respectful and patient, so he felt comfortable to speak his mind. Now, this is true. That's exactly how I felt. So, I want to talk about my path, how I think that's how I started. That I want to explain how I got to the point that one day I decided to not eat and drink water only for 50 days. I think that's way more important and interesting than that all of that led to me water fasting. Because if you understand what led me to water fast, then you will not really be that much interested in information about water fasting, because you will find out that it's just the effect of a more greater cause. So, I'm glad I had this opportunity that Chris let me speak, and sorry to all of you that I speak that long. Sorry. So, let's move on. Puneka691. This was the most challenging video I sat through. I can imagine that, right? You expect something. It's like in life, right? I expect that tomorrow I will be able to speak with my son. And then something happens to my son, and I will not speak with him. And I would be disappointed, because I was expecting that that's how it was going to be. But I live in a reality where expectations are based on my false beliefs that I feel that something is going to be the same way or in a certain way. But when I realize that it's out of my hands, I'm completely fine, right? And understand that if you were expecting that there's going to be someone who can say in few sentences extremely interesting things that you were after, then of course it was extremely challenging to sit through it. Now, I think that I'm really glad the timestamps are there, but I think that if you felt it was challenging, why were you continuing listening? As I said before, after 5 minutes, if you felt that you felt worse than before the 5 minutes started, then you should have just stopped, and then you should have come back, for example, a week later. The timestamps would have been there, or you would find that people would say, you know what, on the 38th minute, finally the water fasting information starts, so you can skip there. So sorry that you had to sit through it. Let's move on. 8 life ingredients. Listen, turn off your judge. This is a man sharing an interesting journey. There is some great wisdom here. Thanks, Chris. I so appreciate your desire to share and learn from others. Now, I'm going to call you Deb. So, Deb, thank you very much for this comment. Because this is exactly what this interview, in the end, I think turned into. That someone gave Chris a tip that there was someone like me who might have interesting insights, and someone who also did water fasts. So Chris checked my account, and he said, "Oh my God, this guy's for real." So we did the interview, and in the interview, I'm just telling you my life experiences. I'm really glad you commented this way. Thank you very much. Let's see what's written here. I don't want to eat bugs, and I hate communism. Oh, I love this comment. So first, Chris, thank you. And I don't want to eat bugs, and I hate communism. Well, again, that's like you saying, let's communism. I hate guns. Why do you hate guns? Because guns killed a lot of people. Yeah, but guns have done a lot of good, right? So it's the same thing with communism. When you realize that communism was misused by bad people, but the idea is great, then you have to realize that you don't hate communism. You hate how communism is being misused by bad people, and you should think about, just like I did, what can we do to change in people's thinking so that communism can work? And when I thought like this, I realized that we all live in little communism regimes inside of our homes, because we view everyone as a family, and you can exactly look how we behave when we take stuff from the fridge, right? So you don't hate communism, you hate how people misuse communism. And then, I don't want to eat bugs. Well, who wants to eat bugs? I don't want to eat bugs. In fact, I don't even want to eat. I don't want to eat, but I have to eat because I am stuck in this body. I'm stuck in this little bit more domesticated ape, and this ape has to eat. And in fact, this ape has to eat essential fatty acids. So most people eat chicken meat, beef, pork. In the Czech Republic, that's what we eat mainly. And they always tell us you have to eat fish every now and then to get the omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Without them, you cannot live. And I found out that bugs have all of this. And not that bugs have only all of this, all these essential fatty. They have everything that's essential for, 90% of everything that's essential for you, it's in the bugs. And again, it's not only about eating bugs, but what I found out, and that's very interesting, that already Moses, when he came from the mountains, and he came with all the rules. So in the Holy Bible, in the Old Testament, I think it's I don't remember the exact verses and numbers, but I think it's in the book Exodus, where you have all the rules what you can eat and not eat and when to eat it. So there it says, eat bugs, eat bugs, eat bugs. That's what the God says. So if you're a Christian, so I say a billion people in this world should be eating bugs, because Old Testament, New Testament, eat bugs, Jesus, Christian, you should be eating bugs. And it's not out of my head. I would prefer not to eat at all. I would prefer that some Mars bar, when I eat it, it's enough. So I don't look at bugs from a point of view of all the emotional attachments, but I look at it from a point of view that I want to eat something that gives me power, gives me health, gives me strength. And you know why? I can care less, but I know that the better I am, the more I can help others. Okay, let's move on. Funica 691. Okay, we see that it's another comment. Oh yeah, you had to sit it through. It was serious. So anyway, still going strong with DR96, week 6 here. We go. So okay, I don't really understand, and I guess I didn't understand what you meant for. Good job. What's that? Yeah, what is it? I think it stands for dry rolling fast for 96 hours. No water or anything for 96. Then 1 day of eating, then back on 96-hour fasting. Okay. Let's move on. Lisa V. Thompson DDS 946. Bless him. His communication cycle is broken, but God bless this man and help him to continue his journey in health. Interesting. So you mean that communication cycle is broken? Okay. During the interview, I think that the storyline was, this is where I started, and this is what led me to water fasting, and this is what I'm doing. So I guess you mean the concrete sentences were too long. Okay, let's move on. ASBMUD. After about 50 minutes, my body started autophagy, eating my brain. Okay, I think there's going to be more interesting ones. Okay, this is funny, lol. I think skip to 0:30 and I still can do it. Okay, so this topic we already talked about. Yeah. So, I think I can give you another analogy. Let's say that someone comes to me and says, George, do you want to live forever? And I say, yes, I want to live forever. And they say, well, I have this liquid, and when you drink it, it's like the water of life. We will live forever. And I say, oh my God, please give it to me. And then they give it to me, and I say, oh my God, I'm not going to drink this. The cup is ugly. I don't like the cup. I thought that the water of life would be in a gold cup full of diamonds. Gold cup full of diamonds. And you are just giving it to me in some plastic little cup. Well, that's how I feel when someone is saying that I speak for too long. That I feel, okay, but what about the content? So let's move on. Sarita Aji 533. Lord, I'm sure someone got something out of this, but for me, it was a bit much in terms of talking about a lot of things that seems irrelevant. I may be wrong, but I was really looking to hear the questions asked regarding his water fasting journey. For that little extra encouragement I needed, I apologize if this should not have been expressed, but I really do love and appreciate a healthy alternative. Community. Okay, so here again, thank you for this comment. But as I was saying, you're writing that it was irrelevant because you were looking for the extra little encouragement. Well, the extra little encouragement is that the fact that it's hard for you to do water fasting is that, again, as I was, let me switch to this view. Where is it? Here. As I was saying, you're saying, I want to water fast for this many days, and I need the encouragement because I can do only in this many days. And I'm saying, from all the irrelevant information is, the problem is not how to get through water fasting. The problem is that in your mind, you are associated with your thoughts and feelings. Come and watch the video over here with number 1 so you can understand what's entry point enlightenment so that you can disassociate yourself from the thoughts and emotions. So when you water fast, you can water fast forever because you know that if there are any thoughts and urges to eat, you don't care. You just perceive them. Okay, so let's move on. Chrissy881. I started saying, this dude is a whack. I'm cooking dinner and I couldn't change the channel. So I kept listening and I'm like, dang, who is this guy? He's awesome, Chris. Nice. Wow. So let's see. Oh, he sure can talk. Yeah, of course. Replaying an old record in a skinny body. Replaying an old record in a skinny body. So that, do you you think that I was like repeating myself all the time? Because if I were, and you know what? So this was called an interview, right? Now, is it my fault that I kept on talking and talking and talking? And when I saw that the moderator, the interviewer, Chris, is not telling me, hey, George, stop. Because there's like 10 million people here watching this, and they are all waiting for water fasting, and you're talking about some bullshit, how you perceive thoughts and emotions that no one cares about. But Chris didn't say that. So maybe I'll start when I see these comments mentioning that, hey, maybe this is Chris's channel, and Chris was just and I think that's how we both approached it. We just were in the flow. We just let it go and see what was going to happen. So again, thank you, Chris, and let's move on. Corey's 3093. Chris, please don't take this as ungratefulness, but it would be absolutely appreciated if you would start adding some timestamps to your videos that are over 20 minutes. I'm not the only subscriber who feels this way, please. And peace and love. Yeah, this has already happened. It gets good after the first 30 minutes. Mayor of Ayaspla skip to 30 minutes. Thank you. I skipped ahead. Okay, let's move on. Good listening, interesting mind. Skim slightly over some of these things. Okay. Dope interview. Keep up the content. Thank you. But it also goes to Chris. Delroy J. Willis. Quick question for anyone that wants to answer. I was wondering is water fasting and working out okay? I'm thinking push-ups and walking the treadmill. Yeah. Again, you have to look at it as a caveman. When cavemen couldn't catch mammoth, so for let's say 30 days, you had no food, but you had to be ready to catch the mammoth. So yeah, work out. You'll be completely fine. That's exactly what I did, and I am doing right now. But it's a good question. I'd say just walking, bro, so you don't burn more muscle tissue than the fat. Okay, I don't think, at least from my experience, that's the situation. Let's move on. Very interesting. Thank you both. Thank you very much. Velma, you get a lot of enlightenment from fasting. Let him speak his truth. Thank you. Thank you for, yeah. Because if you look at it, that it's me, George, talking about my life's experience, then, it's a different approach. But I understand if you look at it, it's going to be a motivational manual for water fasting, then sorry. So again, thank you for this comment. Techality. Should I be taking multivitamin during my fast? I don't take any multivitamins, just the caveman. Witty Yandexius. Oh my god, he looks like Eric Mays, the iconic Flint City councilman who recently passed but contributed so much to the community of Flint. Okay, whatever. Now, I don't know who Eric Mays is. Oh my god, this man is long-winded. Okay. It's like when I read this, oh my god, this man is long-winded. It's like someone said, oh my god, he has blue eyes. Oh my god, he has red glasses. Oh my god. Yeah, okay, what about the thoughts? Like, stop. I just feel, you know what, right now I feel like a lot of these comments, they are all about, not about the information, but they are about how I presented and communicated the information. So I'm really, from now on, I will be skipping the comments about the way I communicate the information, but I'll be more reacting to people who actually caught the information. Okay, here it is. Oh my god, I was wondering. Let's also see the reply. Oh my god, I was wondering how Chris was gonna cut him off. It took an hour and 6 minutes before Chris was able to jump in with a question, and he was very polite about it. He's a nice guy, but he's a full of ego mind chatter. Has giving major Leo vibes. Leo's exactly like this. Had to skip a million times and put it on faster speed, lol. Okay. So as I was saying, so what's the role of the moderator? Is the role of the moderator to come up with amazing questions, and based on the replies to come up even more amazing questions? Or is also the role of the moderator to keep tracking time and have the feeling for if I'm talking too long or not? And as I said, it's not my ego speaking. I was just waiting for Chris to step in, and Chris wasn't stepping in, so I was just talking and talking. I don't know what I should have done. Like, do you think that I should have stopped? Let's say I would have like a little little timer, and every 2 minutes I would say, Chris, is it enough or should I continue? Chris would say, I don't know. I think, yeah, but let's continue. I feel better now after 2 minutes than before, so let's continue. Right? Well, anyway, let's move on. Who's Leo? So, Sabi Bean 5194. So was it a 50-day water fast with a daily 5-mile run? Okay, I don't know which water fast you're talking about, but the first water fast I didn't run anything because I was afraid. I wasn't sure what I was going to experience. But of course, I done 12 fasts, so now I run all the time. I work out every day while fasting. Come on, Brad, get to the point. Well, what was the point? The point was I thought that for 1 hour I'm supposed to be talking about fasting, and before I got to water fasting, I was gonna say I set my mind straight so that I don't have to wait for any points and be nervous that my boat of happiness is going to leave without me because George is talking for too many minutes. Anyway, for Brad, I'm giving you a thumb up. Naomi Gray Styling. George is making some great points. However, I'm currently watching this talk, and he has been speaking for 52 minutes, and he hasn't stopped talking and allowed Chris to interject and ask one question. My lord, dude, take a moment to breathe and actually have a two-way conversation. I'm honestly finding this to be hardest healthy alternative talk ever to watch, and don't know why I'm still watching. Okay, so we already talked about it, and it's a very interesting effect, right? So, again, what's funny is that I was waiting for Chris to step in. I guess Chris was waiting for me to I was actually supposed to be the moderator. So sorry that I didn't have a timer. Because I usually, when I stream, I just speak by myself. So when I did do an interview, I didn't realize that I should keep track of time and that I should prepare notes and keep track of how long I'm speaking. Interesting. Okay, reply here. He spoke straight for a whole hour and 50 minutes. You know what, guys? I gotta tell you one thing. I experienced in my life that someone would call me and say, George, could you be on Saturday at 9 a.m. in this town, let's say an hour from Prague? And I'd say, yeah, sure. And before I said sure, I asked, will the gas be paid for? I don't need anything else. I just want to have the cost to be paid for. They said, of course. So I arrived there at 9 a.m. I walk into a regular room, and in this room, there were people sitting there, and these people were expecting me to talk about life, just like with Chris. So I started speaking at 9, and I spoke non-stop till 4 p.m. So I don't know how many hours that is, 7 hours, non-stop. And after 7 hours, the organizer received money from all these people, which was not small money. I got my money for the gas, and I went home. So for me, I can speak for 7 hours, no problem. And I thought that on YouTube, it doesn't matter, even if you're watching a live stream. So then if I'm speaking too long, then you can just skip and go somewhere else, right? And come back later. Wow. See, that reminds me of the old days in the communist Czech Republic, where, we had only 2 channels on TV. So if you missed, and they were not doing repetition, so if you missed your favorite TV show, it was really bad, right? So exactly, you were always fighting for time, but with YouTube, oh my God, you can skip forward. Oh. Anyway, thank you very much for everything, all the comments, and let's move on. D Malone 9884. OK Physique number 2 at timestamp. Number 2, that's going to be the muscular one. Okay. Okay, Physique. Yeah, thanks. Okay, the guy has WEF talking points. Now I have no idea what WEF means. So, okay. His voice is soothing. I will have to Google that one out. But I will put a like there, so maybe you'll notice it, and you could let me know what you mean by his voice is soothing. New subscriber here, do you have any current challenges? I could really use the support, so that's going to be probably for Chris, not for me. He was like Cat Williams, just jumped in there and started talking. Yeah, well, I had to find out who was Cat Williams, because that's exactly how I felt. Because I thought that Chris was going to tell me, I have like 10 questions, they're going to be around this area. And I just started talking and just kept on talking. As I said, I was waiting for Chris to jump in. Well, and I was just like moving closer and closer to water fasting. They talked about water fasting, and I said, okay, that's all I had to say. And yeah, funny. So I'm going to find out. Okay, so let's see here. But Cat was easy to listen to. You could follow along pretty well. Yeah, oh my God, I'm not a professional speaker. This was my first interview. This was like my first interview. No, this was the first interview that I hijacked, and I turned it into a monologue, painful experience that a lot of you had to sit through. Okay? Yeah, I'm laughing too, so let's all laugh. Almost 50 minutes in, and he's still talking. I'm floored. Not one question has been asked. This is very interesting, right? As I'm saying. So is it my fault? Or for the future? Should I be the one who's taking care of this or not? Because I have done an interview in the past where I liked one author who who translated writings about Krishna from Sanskrit to Czech language. And I really liked his book. So I did an interview with him. And I had the questions ready. I was keeping the time. And but I thought that we were doing it a nice freestyle of me saying, whatever I feel. But I think that now I understand that these comments are from people who were watching it live, who were expecting that, within an hour they will hear everything. So sorry. Okay, let's move on. AJHV1FZ. Yes, he's got a lot of clarity, but who's the interviewer? He didn't give Chris a chance to talk or ask questions. I'm already in, and Chris is still waiting patiently. He's a talker. No, he's someone who just talks until the interviewer says, you know what, you answered my question, or this is enough, let's move on. Okay. Everyone has met someone like this. You are very tired afterwards, and you wonder during the conversation if they are not aware of themselves. So, okay, I completely disagree with this. If I have a conversation with another person, that's completely something different, where someone tells you, you know what, we're going to be talking for about an hour. So, look, shoot away. Okay. People who never stop talking are not self-aware by definition. Exactly. I was not self-aware because I thought I was coming into a safe space. When Chris says, George, here it is, and just keep talking and I'll make sure. That's how, well, that's not how exactly, but it's not how Chris said it, but it's how I was perceiving it. So, oh my God, so what is the platform where I can just talk? Well, it's on my YouTube channel. That's what I do. If is he waiting or actively listening? I think Chris was waiting, probably. Okay. Ellie, what lost me in saying communism isn't bad? What a word salad and gaslighting. Okay, so I'll again explain it again. It's not about you perceive, Ellie, you perceive communism as bad because you were told that during communist regime, a lot of people were killed. But it's not due to the communist regime. It's to the fact that when there's somewhere what they call communism, it's hijacked by bad people who misuse it and kill others. It's like I said with the gun. The gun itself is not bad, but how people misuse it is bad. Chris, your face, priceless. How much did he lose? Okay, it was there. Let's move on. Executive Kennel. How in this world do you get past the desire to eat at certain times of day? Practicing discipline, I've even shouted at myself, no, before keeping myself busy by going on long walks, bubble baths, reading movies, and of course lots of water with a little pink salt. Well, as I said, my question is, why are you so attached to your desire to eat at certain times of day? But a good question. This one too. So ready? Okay. Fast forward to after 50 minutes. You know what? I think that... Yeah. I wonder what happened in 5 minutes. It was 50 minutes. It was probably when Chris asked his first question, or when I started talking about water fasting, or what? Interesting. We ready? Okay. Goodbye. This guy loves the sound of his voice. Yeah. Okay. What's here? I just realized every white guest talks so much about themselves before they talk about fasting and weight loss. Like, get some friends or join a support group of mental health, because we shouldn't be made to not only listen to all your baggage, but have to listen for so long. And I swear, I went to sleep and now I'm up. And I still can't find the point where he actually said, I fasted and lost weight for how long? Oh my God. Well, I'm going to publish this, so I cannot give you my honest answer. But I already talked about this. And the question is again, should I be tracking how long I speak? Or should the moderator stop me? Interesting question. Let's move on. I thought this was Brad Pitt for a second. Oh my God, 12 comments. So first I'll say, you know what? I'll give you a like. First of all, I like Brad Pitt. First of all, I take that as a compliment. And thirdly, it has happened to me in regular life many times that people would tell me that I reminded them of Brad Pitt. Is Brad Pitt for a second? Okay, good. Thank you for that 1 second. I take the second. I thought Hunter Biden for a second. Well, that's also funny. Okay, cool. I even take Hunter Biden. I like the brand. Jason Gallery, it's actually Oprah Winfrey. Okay. You need prescription glasses. Okay. No, you didn't stop typing anything. Cut it out. More like Brad Bottomless Pit. Okay. Oh, I gotta continue now. No way. Me too. Okay, I'm 10 minutes in and I have no idea what's going on. Okay. Next one. They take your money, then tell you not to reach out to them and listen, not increase interaction. Never again. Okay, whatever. I love the way you can listen. Is this about fasting or is he running for something? I'm just talking about what kind of person I am. Unfortunately, the type of person I am makes regular people feel like I'm running for something. Sorry. On today's episode of A Healthy Philosopher, okay, if long-winded was a person, okay, but still the same. It's interesting how, we've gone through a lot of comments, and I'm yet to find more comments about, this is all about the form, but it's not about the substance. I'm at 10 minutes and I'm laughing. Honestly, I'm at 6 minutes and I literally just said the same exact line to myself. You know what? And I'm going to like it because probably internally I was laughing at the time during the interview too, because I was thinking to myself, I'm just keep on talking and I guess it's fine. Chris is not saying anything. He was high. That's how he lost weight. Okay. Like you mean like marijuana high, or what do you mean? Okay. Let's move on to the next one. JW1042. Hold on, brother. Chris, now I'm going to be respectful because your channel community is safe space, but at 3053, the facial structure is oddly different. Okay. Not trying to be rude, but what about the Waterfast? Okay, I guess this comment is not to me, but to Chris, the moderator. Well, that was different. Okay, probably it was, right? Because I didn't talk about only about water fasting. And for me, it was also different. Good for him. Good for him on fasting, but no. Okay. This was actually unfair. If you looked at the pics, it's turned into clickbait. Maybe interview should start with, how much you weigh at your heaviest? How much do you weigh now? How long did it take you? How did you start? Find out about fasting. What was your fasting journey? This may cut out. It was 84 years ago in Sicily. Okay. So I've done 12 fasts, right? And my first fast, I went all the way up to 65 kilos. So I lost, well, yeah, I don't think it was a clickbait. Because I turned water fasting into meditation tool. You know, I feel like a lot of you view water fasting as some mental challenge, how to, painfully have, force my willfully something for 30, 40, 50, 60 days. But have you asked yourselves why you want to do it? What do you want to prove to yourselves? Because then you might find the real reason why you are after it, which I was talking about, second cause. And you'll find out that your issue is that you are too attached to some image of how long the interview should be, how much should I weigh, what should I look like, what my feelings should be, are they good, are they bad, is it, yeah? That's where you should go for. Yeah, let's move on. Respectfully, this was the first one I didn't enjoy. Okay. Yeah, but I can imagine, yeah. It's like if you have a favorite TV show, because again, when I usually never watch anything live on YouTube, I always use it exposed. So, I don't know why you just didn't skip or not watch it. But I guess if you are, looking forward to spending 1 hour, 2 hours with Chris, then I understand that, and it was probably something different as other people wrote, then sorry, you were going to watch, you were looking for the History Channel or National Geographic Channel, and I was giving you a Human Psychology Channel. Sorry. Okay, let's move on. Next one, did I enjoy? So here, Lone Wolf. Let's also see the answer. I didn't come here for politics or be gaslighted. No, you came here to learn and get to know a person's outlook on life and learn their mindset, or just scroll. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. And again, as I was saying that the word enlightenment is misused, same with politics. You have to differentiate politics between, what you watch in daily news. But when I talk about politics, for me, that's exactly the Plato's way. And that is, you have to look at it that when I talk about politics, it's about how to organize a group of people so they are the most productive. And why is it important on Water Fasting channel? Because when you are able to see the truth, when you are able to enlighten yourself from the glasses that were given to you by society, and they force you to perceive the world a certain way, then of course, you don't see these things. But when you take them down, you see it, how it's all connected up, across politics, how you organize yourselves, and then how do I organize a group of people that is unable to not eat for a week? That means that it's sort of like the rats. They need a little tyranny because obviously they are enslaved by their feelings. How do I know when I tell them, you know what, for 1 week I need you to do this project? And how do I know that when they get some emotions or feelings that they will not collapse, that they are completely strong and they have the will? Yeah, so politics is not about, if you're, at least the entry point politics, it's not about at all if you're a left-wing, right-wing, Democrat, Republican, but it's about, okay, here's a group of people. How can we organize this group of people so they are the most productive? And at home, we organize it in the style of communism because it's possible, because we perceive everyone as our family member and we love them, and we will not take more than we actually need because we know that if we take more, then a person we love will not have enough. Simple. Now you can hear to learn. Yeah, okay, exactly. So let's go. What is the next challenge? I think that's, Chris is writing here. So I'll skip it. Okay, so 20% fasting and 80% life in general. Still an interesting video though. Again, I want to agree, but the 80%, I try to explain why you don't have, if you understand the 80%, then you will understand fasting. Please can we move from the internet to a private therapeutic environment? Okay, that's probably for Chris. The link to his profile ain't working. Okay, I tried. If you all can listen to Resatessa, Yell can listen to this. I have no idea who Resatessa is. Laughing. Just got about an hour or some bits of time. Okay, I have no idea what this means. So let's move on to the next one. Hard Terry Carney. So I click on your video from my TV and someone else's video came up. Someone who does almost the same thing you do. They're stealing your views. I click off and went back and I tried it again. Okay. This guy loves to talk, my God. You know what? I don't mind talking. I enjoy it. Someone wants to listen to me and they're not saying, look, you're talking too much. And I just keep on talking. And that's how I felt. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it's not my fault. But maybe Chris is an amazing listener. And his listening skills are such that they just captured my part of the brain that wants to express himself. And Chris was just milking me with his seductive listening skills. So I was just a victim. Okay, let's move on. Fasting. Beasting. Fasting. You spoke about everything else except fasting. Misleading clickbait. And some random rambling and sheer waste of time. Brrr. Yeah. Well, we already talked about all of this, so you should take off the glasses through which you perceive the reality, and come to my YouTube channel and look at the content. And I really recommend the videos over here for Entrypoint Academia, especially number 1, because that one will tell you how I perceive reality. You should try it, because then I don't think you would think it was a misleading clickbait. Socrates isn't a real person. Okay. Well, I think that no one is a real person. Because every written history is just a story that we hear, right? So, from the historical, if Socrates isn't a real person, then Jesus Christ never existed, because the evidence that Socrates was a real person and existed, it's just so overwhelming compared to the non-existent evidence for Jesus Christ existing, that if you say that Socrates isn't a real person, then would you also say that just as Socrates isn't a real person, Jesus Christ was never existed? It's curious. Okay, let's move on. Oh, okay, you see, this is the last one. Okay, so I got through all of it. Okay. Oh, and you know what? Again, I forgot to switch over. So with regards to the clickbait, I spoke about this one, and with regards to Socrates, I was reacting to this part. Also, my understanding of Socrates, you can find it, in the video over here, how I apply Plato in my life. So everything that I was saying is basically from what's available publicly. So from there, I thought that Socrates was a real person. Well, anyway, you know what? I've got through it. I think it took me an hour and a half. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this video, but again, I want to thank Chris for giving me the opportunity to do the interview with him. I would like to thank our mutual fan who connected us. I would like to thank all of you guys for all your comments. Again, I want to apologize that I spoke that long. I guess that's just the way I am. And I guess for the future, I will record myself and I will try to I will have AI to cut it into some 3-word information pockets that you can just get in your head in 1 minute, and you don't have to waste your time speaking this long. Also, I would like to thank to all of you who wrote, who understood what I tried to say, that it's not about the form, but it was about the substance. And I find that most of the people were just evaluating the form. Most of the people were disappointed because they wanted water fasting right away, and it took me almost an hour to get to it. But that's the way I am. Again, thank you for your support. Pick up my channel, drop me a line. I put my contact information everywhere. I just speak my heart. And I'm right now, I'm actually living something I call Entrypoint lifestyle, because I will not do water fasting anymore, as I said in the interview. And today is my 69th day of my life that I'm living Entrypoint lifestyle. And I gotta tell you that I would recommend it more than water fast. And basically it is that every 4th day I eat food with no carbs and no sugar. And the body transformation that I'm going through, it's just amazing. And again, it's not just the body, it's in the head, because it's interconnected, and I'm working on accelerated learning techniques, and it's just amazing. So again, thanks a lot, and I'm glad I did this video.